if I blow out my back, if I mess my shoulders up and I can't train, you're definitely not going to progress that way. For example, something like a deadlift for me seems high risk, low reward at this point in my life. I don't know how much benefit I would get out of doing a deadlift at this point. And not to mention the fatigue and CNS cost of doing a deadlift. If you blow yourself out doing a set of deadlifts at the beginning of a workout, how effective is the rest of your back workout going to be?
How effective is the rest of your day when you have hundreds of
Right.
clients and a YouTube channel and other stuff to do?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that's always perplexed me. Like, I'll see guys that will, I've talked to dudes that'll run a bunch of insulin and then
Mhm.
do a hit style workout. And I'm like, and then wonder why they're getting fat. I'm like, it's because,
Yeah.
I mean, you look at what Milos does with his guys, it's a lot of volume. You know, he's doing those
Muscle
giant
around.
sets.
So, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And pushing, blood into the muscle. So I think you have to pair your training up with your diet. I run a high carbohydrate diet for the
Mhm.
most part, insulin, GH, and it seems to pair well with the higher volume, higher
Yeah.
rep range type of training.
Yeah, I agree. Right? And prevent injury that way because you're not doing all these one max out sets per exercise where you're,
Right.
6 reps, 8 reps, do or die. And then, a couple grinder sets to the point you're super neurologically fatigued at the end of the day, can't even get any work done. That was always my problem. And now I kind of
Yeah.
shift over to some more reps in reserve and a little bit higher rep range. And my body feels a lot better because of it. With the Increlex, again, without it, my physique was not as impressive as it is now. So let's see.
Yeah.
I don't want to add in the carbs though. I feel good
I,
like this.
I look at it this way when I'm evaluating exercises: there's a cost and a benefit for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And at my age, I want to maximize the benefit and reduce risk. So I pick exercises that are going to make a lot more sense within the parameters of my diet and within protecting my joint integrity. Like, if I blow out my back, if I mess my shoulders up and I can't train, you're definitely not going to progress that way. So
Yeah.
I stick with, for example, something like a deadlift for me seems high risk, low reward at this point in my life. I don't know how much benefit I would get out of doing a deadlift at this point. And not to mention the fatigue and CNS cost of doing a deadlift.
Yeah.
If you blow yourself out doing a set of deadlifts at the beginning of a workout, how effective is the rest of your back workout going to be?
How effective is the rest of your day when you have hundreds of
Right.
clients and a YouTube channel and other stuff to do? That was
Right.
always kind of my turnoff because nowadays I'm so busy that I really have to think like, what am I going to do tomorrow? If I can train super, super hard. So yesterday I trained super, super hard because today was kind of like an off day. And then at the end of the day, I have a podcast, which was easy and fun. So yesterday I did like, 2.5 plate squats, which is a lot since I just started squatting again with what is it? Not the Cambridge bar, but the one that goes over your neck. It's a little bit pivoted. What's that called?
Yeah, I know it. There's like what is it? The Duffalo bar or whatever it is.
Something like that. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Just feels like you're wearing a vest on the top. So that one, and then some modified leg press, and then the H squat, which is a lot of fun. Most of it like full stack. And then today I woke up and I'm like, oh man, I haven't felt like this in a while. I was messed up, then I need half a day to kind of recover from it. And I'm good. But I think if I had like a lot of work to do and a lot of like PubMed reading and preparing for videos, then I would be very unproductive today. And I feel that's a trade-off for most of the guys that are now on YouTube. That's why I see Chase Irons is barely posting videos nowadays. I texted him, it's like, are you enjoying your bodybuilding? Where are the videos? Where's the content? Yeah, you're just burned out, from all this heavy lifting and gaining your size. And it's such a shame. I wish I could do both, but I have to make a choice.
I'm in the gym 7 days a week, pretty much. I'm there every day, but like I said, I am using low fatigue cost exercises. Like all my back work is braced back work. I was doing barbell rows up until this year, but then I dropped those as well. So I'm lucky we have a great gym where I work out. So we have all this fancy Panada and Atlantis equipment that's just fantastic, man. If we didn't have that, I probably would. have to do some of the other stuff. But
Right. Yeah.
the Panana stuff is really nice, super
I like
nice.
it. Their new line, Jim Leco and Prime and Panana. I
Yep.
mean, it's super smooth. Atlantis also.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have
I
all
like
that at
that.
my gym.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's it's great. So I use all that stuff. So all my back work at this point is braced. I'm
Hmm.
trying to take load off of my spine, and there's a fatigue cost to that as well. And same thing with the leg work. So I will only do hack squats pretty much anymore. Hack squats, leg extensions, and then I'll do some sissy squats or maybe lunges or something like that. So,
Right.
but that's pretty much what I do for my quad work. It's nothing where I'm loading my spine.
Right. Right. So it's a lot more deliberate. And how's your pump and contraction and overall feel of the muscle now compared to back then when you were doing DC training and that kind of crazy workout?
Depends on how much insulin I take.
I love the honesty. You ask a pro this question like, oh yeah, it's so much better now that I'm older, the muscle maturity. But we all know that the PEDs also play a role.
No, I mean nothing works like it did when I was in my 20s, man.
Yeah.
I could literally go in a bar and see a girl and get a pump. It's
Yeah,
everything
of course. Yeah.
when I was in my 20s. Start flexing my biceps and be ready to go. But yeah, pumps are harder to come by as you get
Mm,
older. That's for sure. But
yeah.
I've had really with this style of training paired with the insulin and a high carbohydrate diet, you definitely get better pumps. That's for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. And you were up to what, 1,000 carbs a day at one point?
Yeah, on my high days I do around
Yeah.
1,000.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, Justin.
That's-
So we run carb cycling, so it was high, medium, low. So at the beginning of my contest prep, I was at 1,000 on my high days. I was running 3 of
mm,
those a week. My medium days were 600 grams of carbs, and
mhm.
low days were 300 uh,
Right.
grams of
Okay.
carbs. And then the
Yeah.
protein stays pretty moderate because if you're running a ton of carbs, of course, carbs are protein sparing.
Yeah. Protein sparing. Right.
You don't need as much protein. So
To,
around a
to,
gram to a gram and a quarter per pound.
yeah. To 200, 250 grams in total, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, I was
And
around
then,
300, I think, somewhere around
oh,
there.
yeah.
But
Yeah. Because you're 280 pounds. Yeah. Of course.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but not a. People are shocked when I tell them how much protein I eat. It's not a ton. Although
Right.
I think, from what I understand, as you get older, from what I've read, that protein requirements do go up because your protein metabolism starts to change as you get older.
But does that apply to bodybuilders who use performance enhancing drugs by the boatloads?
Pro-
Increase
Probably
muscle
not. I
protein
don't know.
synthesis quite a
Right.
bit. I think, when you listen to Peter Artia about, longevity and that kind of stuff, that you have to invest in your younger years to acquire a certain amount of muscle because it's going to diminish as you get older. But all of that research has not been performed on men who take testosterone replacement therapy or anything above that.
No.
And we would probably continue some sort of PED use later on in life. So I think for us, it's not going to be an issue, unless you get
No.
physically injured and you're bedridden for a month for whatever reason. Yeah, then it's problematic. But even then, you can get it back quite fast. Again, you see how long Chase was off or an I'm off, and then you add in a little bit to the mix, and the response is stellar. So you
I mean,
just gain it all back.
look at Sylvester Stallone. What is that dude?
Yeah.
77, 78?
Hmm.
He looks like he's in his 40s.
Yeah. Well, maybe not
I
in the
mean,
face, but in the physically.
physically, I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
that guy's still put together.
Yeah.
He's
No, he
doing
still looks
everything.
good. Yeah, he still looks good.